Okay, so how do I scan a hot drink into MyFitnessPal? So I'll show you. So I've got all my items here. So we're going to start with right, so take your phone, you'll need to have downloaded MyFitnessPal. Okay, then you go on add, click on food. I know it's not food, but it goes into the food section. It doesn't really matter which meal you put it into. True. I'm going to start by scanning the tea bag. So click scan barcode, like so, and I'm just going to take my PG Tips and I'm going to see if I can show you. So I'm going to scan the barcode. Can you see here 1 calorie per tea bag? Sorry, per 200 ml. So it says here each cup 200 ml before adding milk contains. So that's the tea bag that makes the water flavoured. Okay, so 1 calorie. So click tick. So that's your tea bag done. Next, what we need to do. So if we put that tea bag in there, right, we're going to put the mug on the scales. We're going to zero the scales, okay? So the reason why I turn it on or zero it when I put it on is otherwise it will weigh the mug and we don't want to do that. I'm going to change this to say grams, just because. And I've got my sugar. So, sorry, start again. So, tea bag, scan, yes, tick, one of those. Then sugar, so it doesn't actually matter what we're going to do. So you're going to go add food, scan barcode, take your sugar, you're going to show it that what you're putting in, so sugar. So you can see that says 100 grams and 1 quantity. So it's 1 times 100, so it's 100 grams. Now I'm not going to have 100 grams of sugar. I mean, you can if you want to. I'm going to put in a teaspoon. So now it's on the scales. I'm going to weigh it out. So I'm keeping that on MyFitnessPal for the moment, so it knows what it is. So of course, if you have a heaped teaspoon or a level teaspoon, it's going to make a difference. So I'm going to put that in there. Now that is showing 5 grams. Okay, so that's 5 grams. And then now I've got in where I've scanned it, I've left it up. So 5. So there's a few ways you can do this using maths. So you can change the serving size. So I'm going to change it to 1 gram, tick. Now I'm not having 1 gram, am I? I'm having 5. So to make 5 grams, I need to change this to 5. Okay. The other way I could have done it, so that's 5 grams of sugar. Now the other way I could have done it is I could have gone 100 grams and then work out how many 5s are in 100 and change this. So bad at maths, I'm gonna 100 divided by 5 is 20, okay? So if I was gonna do it the other way, I could go 100 grams tick and divide 20, there's 25s in here, so I'd have to go 0.20 tick, okay? That's, sorry, done that wrong, 0.20, bad maths. So you can see here, I think that's right, is that right? So if you're not sure, like me, bad maths, you can see here, it's added up 20 grams, and we don't want it to have 20 grams. So what we need to do, I believe we need to add in another 0, tick. No, it doesn't like that. Forget that. That is one way of doing it for other items. So 1 gram, tick, then 5, tick. So we've got 5 grams, that's 20 calories, tick. Okay, so we've got our tea, we've got our sugar, we need to add our milk. Okay, so some of you will add milk after, some after. Now, the scales currently say 5 grams. It needs to be 0 because we need to see what it is. Well, it doesn't need to be 0. Again, you'd have to do the maths. But if you just 0 it, put it back to 0, split flash in your milk. Okay, so I've got 41 grams of this, quite a lot. I don't usually put that much, but again, it's personal preference. So add food, scan barcode, and I'm going to scan the milk, like so. Okay, so now it's pulled up 100 mils. I've not had 100 mils, I've had 40 grams. I believe a mil is a gram, so that's 40 mil. So I need to calculate. So I'm going to change the serving size to 1 mil, tick, and I'm going to change this to 40, tick, 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 okay? There we are, that is my cup of tea. So you can see 1 calorie for tea bag, 20 calories for sugar, 20 calories for milk. There's no calories in water, and that's going to be far too much milk for me to drink, so I'm going to get rid of that. But that is how you input a cup of tea, and you do the same with coffee. So if you were doing coffee, you'd obviously scan the coffee. Now, something I can do that makes this easier going forward, if you always have your tea in exactly the same way with the same milk and the same sugar, etc., you can click these 3 dots here. So make sure it's in a meal on its own, otherwise it's not going to work. I've put this in meal 5, so it's its own meal. 3 dots, save as meal, and you can name it cup of tea. And if you want to, you can add a photo. Save, I'll just show you an example. So I'm going to call it cup of tea example, because I wouldn't make my tea this way, but just an example. Cup of tea, save, dismiss, okay? So now if I'm in tomorrow and I have a cup of tea in the morning, or whenever I have a cup of tea, I click add food. I click on meals, and it's going to be the most recent one I put on there. So I've got loads of meals saved, so cup of tea and tick. Okay, so that is how you scan in a hot drink.